Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers, and as you know, on every Friday, Kyung Shotwell and I, you have to excuse my voice, do our page-by-page project where we each do a page. We take turns picking a prompt, and then we each do a page from a signature that we're going to trade, and we don't know what each other's going to do until it's done. Well, Miss Paintalot and Kyung have decided to start doing one as well, and so I thought it would be fun to go ahead and follow along with their prompts, and then that would give us an extra video a week that you guys could watch. Now, I'm going to be releasing these on Wednesdays. Now, I realize that today is Saturday. No, I'm not going to release it on Saturday. They do theirs on Saturday. So I'm going to be a week behind then, but I am going to follow along, and at some point, maybe next week, I'll catch up so that I'm on the Wednesday following the Saturday that they do theirs. All the projects are going to be different. The only thing that's going to be the same is the prompt, and I am in no way in on their collaboration. I'm just following along like I did with the the September daily. I can't talk this morning. I guess. I don't know. It could be because I've been up since 10:30 last night. So what I'm going to do for my page, the prompt is Stencil, and what I'm going to do for my page, I've done a trial and it seemed to work really well. My trial was on 110-pound cardstock, and this is mixed media paper, which is what I probably should have used, but we'll see what happens you know, on this paper, and hopefully it will turn out even better. I think my trial turned out pretty well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take modeling paste, and this is Deco Art, which is not expensive, and you're going to need some washi to stick your stencil to your paper, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. When we get done and everything's dry, then I'm going to ink around the edge, and I'm going to use antique linen, which I thought that tea dye was lighter, but tea dye is darker. So you got vintage photo, tea dye, and then antique linen. Antique linen is what I want. For some reason, on my 110-pound, the edges of some of the leaves and the flower petals kind of turned a little bit of a golden color, and I really like that. So I hope that it does it on here, even though it's supposed to stay white. So then once this gets dry, what we're going to do, this is a 5x5 piece of paper. My tip to you would be, don't do what I did on my quote-unquote real version, which is to cut the paper ahead of time. I had some trouble with the modeling paste going off the stencil, but that's all right if you're going to cut it off anyway. This way I had trouble because I had to washi tape the stencil to the paper from the back side. So hopefully I won't have any trouble when I go to take the stencil off once we put the modeling paste on. You're also going to need a palette knife, and that's what we're going to use to spread the modeling paste. And then what I did is, and I wasn't sure it was going to work or not, which is I took watercolor pencil and then one of the little watercolor brushes, and this has water in it, and the end looks like a paintbrush, and I went over the watercolor to activate it, and it made it a very nice pale color. I know that this red seems like a bright red, but it isn't when you color it on there. This brand is called Strokes, but they don't make this brand anymore, at least that you can't get it on Amazon. So the link that I've included down at the bottom of this, where I put items that I use in most of my tutorials and or recommend, there is the Arteza watercolor pencils, and they're probably even better than these because these were a discount brand, and Arteza is a more mainstream, well-known brand. Okay, so you're going to need your watercolor pencils. You're going to need your signature, which is a piece of 8.5 by 11 folded in half. And then I work on a page, Now this one's going to be cream, but all of them are not. And this is going to be 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this piece of art. We're going to glue that onto here. We're going to ink it around the picture. We're going to ink this paper, and then we're going to put the whole thing on our signature. Okay, so let's move our signature. Oh, on these colored pencils, this is a set of 48, and you can see all the colors. I just happened to reach in and grab one and try it, and it was a color that I liked. And I'm not sure what the color is. This is one thing I don't like about this brand, is they don't have numbers or names on them. All they have is the color on the end, and apparently we're supposed to be able to match it up on this picture and figure it out. Okay, so I think this is red orange. I wouldn't swear to it. It could be red. I have no idea. Of course, you can use whatever color you want. But this is the color I decided. I did a color test, and it came out the one I wanted. So let's put this stuff to the side for now. Okay, let's go ahead and ink our paper, which I forgot to do. And you can see that you can barely see this against the cream, but you'll notice that when I put it against the white. And I'm not going to glue this down because I'm going to show you the sample and how I did it, because the modeling paste is in no way going to be dry all the way through in any kind of time. Even if I put you on pause, we would be on pause forever in my time. So I'm going to wait and glue this down. This says antique photo on it, but it's a brand new sponge. So I decided using a lighter color in between would be okay. Alright, so we've got that colored. Now I'm going to take a brush probably and go around the edge of this with the antique linen as well, which I forgot to do before we went on camera. So I'll take a brush and do that. So what I will do, I guess I wasn't as prepared as I thought, is I will take a scrap piece of manila folder, that's what I use, and put it in here so we don't contaminate any of our next pages. I think they're doing a total of 12 pages, so that'll be I think they're going to end up with 24 pages. So I think they're going to do 6 pages where Kyung and I were doing 5 in each of our signatures. So what you do is you just take the ink and you use the brush instead, tap it once, and then go around the edge. And now on this color you're going to have to go around several times, and that will color the edge of your paper before you put this cream colored paper down. So in fact, I'm going to put you on hold and I'm going to do that, or well, it doesn't matter because we're not going to be able to glue it down. I'm just going to lay it on top and then lay the cream colored paper on there too, and then you'll see what the page is going to look like. Okay, so I'll move that out of the way. I'm going to move this and the other watercolor pencils out of the way as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the washi tape. What I did was I picked a color of washi that I knew for sure I was never going to use, which is this bright lime green. I got a whole set, and there's a lot of colors I am going to use, but this is not one of them. I don't care what the project is. Anyway, and then you can take the modeling paste, and then you're going to put it on this side, not this side. You're going to put it on this side of the blade. And that's a little bit too much. And you're going to lightly just go over the stencil. Now I have a little broken spot on my stencil right there, so I'm going to do that spot first and be real careful. And you just go over the top of it. Yeah, I definitely should not have cut my paper first, because my paper is moving. And you just want to skim over where the stencil is so that the modeling paste will go through onto the paper. Okay, and you're going to cover the whole stencil. It's been cold out here. The reason I mention it is I was crafting with some friends this morning. We were using Messenger, and they actually, one lives in Tennessee and the other lives in Ohio, and it was actually warmer there than it was here. It's only 47 degrees out here in Seattle, and it's raining, so it is fairly chilly. Now I'm going along a little bit faster here because I don't have a tear in my stencil. So you just want to fill in all the holes. I want to be a little careful here because I don't want to tear the stencil here. Okay, we're almost done. Oops, I missed a spot up there. And like I said, I don't know if it's going to come out different on this paper. That's too much. And I'm doing this on a glass surface. I don't think this is going to be raised up like it was on the 110. I mean, raised up as much. Because I can still see the stencil, whereas on the other one I could not. So I think I may like the other better. So now all you want to do is carefully remove the stencil. Oh no, it did it. And I'm going to leave the washi on it. You're going to want to washi this. That was my bad joke number one. You're going to want to wash this. Okay. And then I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is what it looks like. I have a couple of spots that have little blops on them, but that's okay. If you could tip it this way, you could probably see where it's raised up. This is going to take a while to dry. You can use your heat gun on it, but I want it to dry. I want mine to dry, air dry, and it's fairly thick. Let me see if I can. It's fairly thick. If you can see how thick it is on there. And so it's going to take quite a while to dry. Let me set this somewhere to dry. All right, now this is on the 110 paper. And as you can see, I've started coloring it. And I'll show you what I did or how to do it. You're going to want to clean this as well. And the thing I wondered about was because you can wash this off with water. So I was worried about when it dried, if you did the watercolor, that it would dissolve the modeling paste, but it doesn't. And I was pleasantly surprised. So all I did was I took my watercolor pencil and I left part of it to show you. All I did was color it like I was coloring in a coloring book. just stay, instead of staying between the lines, you want to stay on the raised up area of your flower petal. Now I am only going to do the flower. I am not going to do green for the leaves, and I mean you can, but the look I'm going for is just the delicate flower and not the petals. The leaves. So I'm just going to do the flower petals. And then I'll hold it up and show you. Let's just do these right here. And if you make it darker, it will come out darker when you use the water pen, the water brush. As you can see how it turned kind of golden on the edges. And at first I thought, oh no, but now I actually like it, now that I've got to look at it. This is going to feel kind of soft, and you're going to think that it's not dry. I let this dry for about 3 hours, maybe longer, before I did anything with it. Like I said, this is just 110 paper. It's not mixed medium paper. So I don't know how the other one's going to turn out. I will wait, and at the very end of the video, I will come back and show you the difference between this one and the other one, and we'll see if it looks any different or not. Make sure you go in the direction you want it to go. I think I got a little carried away right there, talking and not paying attention, I guess. But I didn't know if this was going to work or not. This is going to be the only thing on the page. I'm not putting anything else on the page. It's just going to be this picture, this this image that was made with this stencil. And you're just going to take your water brush. The first time you do it, you're going to squeeze a little bit till the brush gets wet. I do it on the back of my hand. Okay. Now I can feel that it's wet. I'm going to kind of brush off any extra water till it gets kind of to the feel I want. I know it's kind of weird, but... And then you're just going to go over it like you're painting it. Because, you know, technically you are. Don't go on the paper. If you get any blots, then just dry your brush off a little bit and blot it up. We're going to go around and do each petal of the flower that we just colored. Do the same. Keep the water on the colored part. Don't get it on the white part of the paper, especially if you're using cardstock. I would not recommend anything less than 110 pound. I wouldn't do it with 65, and I definitely wouldn't do it with anything lighter than that. I mean, you are technically only painting the leaves, so technically this is the only part that's going to get wet, but I forgot where I left off. But it washes it out, and it makes it more delicate looking. Okay, I know for sure I did that one. And then this is what it looks like. Do it this way. Here we go. This is what it looks like. I think it turned out really pretty. It's very delicate looking. And that's all I'm going to do to that. So I'm going to let the watercolor dry. I'm going to wash my stencil and my palette knife. And then we will come back after the other one is dry. And I'm not going to put you on pause. I'm actually going to stop the video and then come back and we'll do the rest of what we're going to do. All right? I'll see you in just a minute for you, and it'll be a few hours for me. Okay, we're back. The one on the mixed medium paper, or mixed media, I'm sorry, I always say the wrong thing, is still drying, and I decided that I really like the one that came out on the 110, and if the other one comes out nice as well, then what I'm going to do is I'll just put it on my wall. So we're going to glue this to the cream colored paper. Oh, and I had to go around it again, so I had to go around it twice with the antique linen. Probably could have stenciled around here, but I really just don't want to take away from the picture. I think I just want the picture to be it. So let's hopefully it'll glue down flat. I'm starving. Why do you guys do this to me? I swear every single time I start to record, you guys start eating. I know it. I know you're doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't get so hungry all the time. Getting hungry by osmosis. Okay, now I decided that this was the bottom. So I'm going to put it on the page this way. I'm just going to center it. Yeah, it looks like it's still going to wrinkle, but I'm going to hold my hand down on it and see if I can get it to flatten out. It doesn't look like it. Maybe so. Maybe I can get it. But I really like the way that turned out. We're going to glue it onto our page. It's going to be page 1. I enjoy following along with the prompts, and like I said, Kyung and I are going to continue, so we're going to have our page by page, the sequel or the continuation, or part 2. I don't know. We might just keep calling it page by page. I think I will. So we'll have ours on Fridays, just like usual. Now we want to glue the bottom the right way. We're going to put this on the page. Oh, and I decided after I tried to ink it the first time that I was just going to leave it white so that it would match the white on here. We're just going to center it on the page. And that's going to be our page 1 stencil. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep your eye out next Wednesday for the next video, and I will see you then, and that'll be just a second for you and a whole week for me. Alrighty, bye bye.